Yo, what's going on, guys? And my Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic. I don't know why I did that, but either way, I had way too much fun with that for a second. I feel like we made smart moves. We had money, but we said, no, no, no. We're gonna take an Iron Man, a guy, Mr. All Reliable, one of the best, if not the best catch and shoot 3-and-D guard in Contavious Caldwell Pope. He won't overstep. He won't ask for too many touches. He'll do what he needs to do. He's a championship pedigree player. 2 rings with 2 separate teams, the Lakers and the Nuggets. And it's not a crazy deal. Then we bring back Gary Harris, who seems to be a really good locker room guy. We bring back Goga. 2 guys that I thought were for sure gone. Now, we're hearing that Jonathan Isaac's going to get an extension, maybe a renegotiation extension. This is awesome. And I think it goes to show where we're at as a franchise. We're ready to take the next step. We know we're a playoff team. But we also knew that the player, because I think we all can agree, Paul Banchero is on his way to being a tier 1 player. Like, a potential MVP candidate. The hope is Franz Wagner becomes an all-star candidate. And this is coming from a guy who's an Orlando Magic fan. I'm an Orlando Magic, Washington Wizards, Minnesota Timberwolves fan. Yes, I'm a masochist when it comes to being a sports fan. But that's everywhere I've lived and everywhere I've been able to support teams. Now, the Orlando Magic, the hope is Franz Wagner is going to be an all-star. I would say that most people are way more higher on Franz Wagner than I am. As someone who scouts for a living, evaluates talent, and I think Franz Wagner is a really good player. I personally think Franz Wagner might be a third. I think best case scenario on a championship team, Franz Wagner is a third option, maybe a 4th option. Best case scenario, Franz Wagner gets to the same level as Mikal Bridges. But there's a chance that Franz Wagner is just a fringe all-star. While, Mikal Bridges, I would say, seems like he is an all-star. It's just hard with Franz. I just don't, the jury's still out. So, let's go with that Franz is a 3 or a 4. I think that option, a 3rd or a 4th option, you assume that he's a 3-4, and Paul Banchero's a 4, and you're going to keep going with a traditional rebounding big, which means you want to have shooting at the shooting guard position, which we have with Jet Howard, Contavious Caldwell Pope, and the rest of the roster it's kind of crazy if you think about how much with now that Markelle Fultz is gone, but with the current roster, this is what it looks like currently, guys. Jalen Suggs is going to be a starting point guard, backup point guard, a combination of Cole Anthony and Anthony Black. Then Contavious Caldwell Pope, Gary Harris, and Jet Howard is our shooting guard rotation. Then Franz Wagner, Caleb Houston, and you would assume a mixture of probably Gary Harris, Contavious Caldwell Pope, Tristan Da Silva, Jet Howard also playing the backup 3. And then at the 4, you probably have behind Paulo Banchero a combination of Franz Wagner, Jonathan Isaac, depending on the different lineups, if we go small, if we go big. And we still have Wendell Carter and Goga. So currently our roster, we have 13 guys on our team. And to me, that's where I just look at our squad. We have 13 guys. I think if anything, I wouldn't mind us going in, bringing back Markelle Fultz. If Markelle Fultz wants to come back on a cheap deal and just be a veteran on this team, I would not mind. I think us finding a veteran defensive-minded point guard or just any veteran point guard would be good for us. So keep an eye out for that, as we still technically have 2 roster spots. And then I think a combo forward would really help us out. I think if we can get a guy who can help space the floor, I could play multiple positions. Theoretically, a guy like Royce O'Neal would have been cool. And I do wonder, if we look at free agents, who's going to be available and who isn't. I think part of what's going to happen is with the current like makeup of free agency. Obviously, we know that DeMar DeRozan, LeBron James, Miles Bridges are the biggest names. That's not what they're going to go after. But would they want to see like a Buddy Hield, who's still a very solid outside shooter? He can score off the dribble. Like, do they want to go after more shooting? Same thing with a Malik Beasley. Do they want to go with a Saddiq Bey where they might not get him all season, but they could get him down long term? And we know Mo Wagner is another. They could bring back Mo Wagner, which they probably will. Let's be honest. He's a guy that I wouldn't be surprised if they go after is Kyle Anderson. But we assume that Mo Wagner, solid screener, good finisher around the basket, can handle the ball. Will set, he can shoot the 3-point shot. I wouldn't be surprised. Or even a Gary Trent. I think those are like little moves that they can go out and get. I really do like the idea though of either like a Dario Saric, a Gordon Hayward, as we talked about earlier, bring back Mo Wagner is fine. If they bring back Mo Wagner, I think then getting another front court player isn't a necessity. So let's go that they go with a Mo Wagner. So then you either go out and you get like a Buddy Hield, Malik Beasley, Gordon Hayward. I guess another outside of that, it starts to become Lonnie Walker would be cool. I know Luke Kennard's out there. I don't really think he solves what they need. I still do think either a Pat Bev, a Markelle Fultz. Jetty Osman's a guy that I really like that I think they could help, but they've made smart moves. I think they continue to look for those good deals. Simone Fontecchio is supposedly going to go back to the Pistons. I don't know if that's going to happen, and if he is, he's got great size. He had a really good shooting streak, and he's an underrated off-the-dribble scorer. He put up 10.5 points, 4 rebounds, and 1.5 assists on 46% from the field, 40% from the three. Same thing with Haywood Highsmith. Two guys that I think, if you can go bring back Mo Wagner and Markelle Fultz, and then if you want to bring in like a guy like Jetty Osman or a Haywood Highsmith or a Simone Fontecchio, I think that's how like you finish off this offseason with a cherry on top. And I just think it's definitely fun to see how they've been able to just find very good value in free agency, and especially with the contracts. I don't think they're forcing the issue, and they're not handicapping themselves the money. And the thing is next year's free agency class, and even through the trade market next year, the trades are going to be better. Like, they're going to be better trades available. So like they're doing right now, I don't see the problem in just, staying patient. Slow and steady wins the race sometimes, ladies and gentlemen.